I, 38M. Learned a lot of difficult things about my wife, 38F. The past few months have been whirlwind where essentially, I felt like something was off. Did something wrong and read some parts of my wife's journal. Learned some difficult things, apologized. Then she shared more things with me that she's been lying to me about for 20 years. For background, we've been together since we were 18 years old in high school, and now have 2 kids together. Here's a brief list of all the things. She admitted to me that she hooked up with her ex-boyfriend from high school when we were 18 and had just started dating. It sounds like she was considering getting back with him at the time but ended up choosing me. When we first started dating, she assured me she was only interested in me. She's always told me she was only with me from that time forward. We even celebrated a relationship anniversary before the likely date hooked up with her ex. When we first got together, she talked a lot about how I saved her from being depressed and sad, and I showed her she could be loved and accepted when she had been rejected. She also admitted that she did things with another guy and gave him her number when we were 18, a few weeks after we had said we were exclusively dating. She had convinced herself over the years that these things happened before we were really together. She had sex with a guy the first never knew about 2 years before we were together. She had always told me I was the second person, after her ex, that she ever had sex with. I don't really care since it was long before we were together, but she had lied about it at the start of our relationship, and she for some reason thought this was the biggest secret she was keeping from me. Again, I don't really care about that one and am confused by her thinking. She had written in her journal over the years about up and down feelings about me. She would write that she loved me and how we're meant to be together at times, and then other times that I was bringing her down and I didn't appreciate her enough or want to understand her, and at one point 5 years ago she dwelled a bit about divorce for a while, although she never told me that. There were multiple times she wrote about feeling less attracted to me, or feeling like she was missing out on life, etc. Most of this was before we had kids, and she was really much more ready to have kids than I was. But she also wrote even in the past year after our kids were born that she was feeling stagnant and bored and thinking about other paths she could have taken in life. But again, not long after that she also wrote that she loved me and wanted to grow old with me. She wrote about dreams every so often about her ex-boyfriend from high school. She still struggled, even in the past year, with how he cheated on her and dumped her, and she's always felt rejected. I think she tried to get back with him when she was dating me, and then she chose to be with me instead. She wrote just a few years ago in her 30s that she would still have dreams where he comes back, and she's with him, and they would have sex, but often he would reject her again. She said she couldn't get over her attraction to him, and she knows she has idealized him. She wrote about feeling like she needed some sort of closure still, even though she hasn't talked to him in 20 years. In one of her dreams she wrote that her and her ex were together, mourning what they lost, and that I was there, as if I understood that they still weren't over each other. She's written about and talked to her therapist about trauma in her past, and it seems like she considers some of that being from that relationship, although she often seemed to write almost fondly about it. 5 years ago, when we were apparently in a rough patch, she wrote that she met a guy and was fantasizing about him because he seemed flirty with her. Recently she said she only saw the guy twice, never had any other conversations, and nothing inappropriate ever happened. A year ago she started a new job and wrote that she was feeling disconnected from me, and this was during a time where I felt disconnected from her and was talking to her about it, trying to be closer to her. She wrote she was infatuated by a coworker, who she still works with, and she wrote about, "I don't know how to work through it," and, "Why can't I be content?" and, "Why do I want what's forbidden?" She said now that she isn't even attracted to him anymore after getting to know him better at work, and it was just a passing thing she felt back then. When I asked her about fantasizing about other people, she said, "Well, I've fantasized about my ex before. I was talking about the recent people, but this threw me off that she told me this like it wasn't a big deal." She then basically admitted that she's fantasized about her ex multiple times, and it sounds like even in recent years when we're middle-aged and have 2 kids. She had looked it up online in the past and saw articles that said it's normal for people to fantasize about exes. I told her that this was hurtful for me, and I was confused why, if she thinks there's trauma haunting her from that relationship from 20 years ago, why would she purposefully and intentionally fantasize about that guy? She says it's just memories and that it was purely physical, not emotional, but I'm just very confused by her mind. I told her that also, if she struggled feeling disconnected from me, it hurts that she would intentionally think of a person from 20 years ago, which doesn't seem helpful for feeling closer to me. She acted like she understood and she said she felt bad about it and wouldn't do it again. Note that I didn't ask her to stop, but I did explain to her how hurtful it was to me. A year ago in her journal she wrote that she purposefully hadn't looked up her ex on social media for many years, but she finally did, and she saw that he's happy and married with kids, and that made her angry that he treated her poorly and gets to be happy still. She talked to her therapist about it and her therapist told her that this guy has nothing to do with her anymore and basically forget about it. It makes me feel bad to know that even after our kids were born she's still feeling this type of emotion about an ex from 20 years ago in high school. She says she doesn't have feelings for him and loves only me, but I just don't feel great about it with everything I know. I feel like she has major issues that I'm not comfortable with. Obviously all of this is a lot to learn and process in a short period of time, and I know much of it is my own fault for reading her journal. We're working together to get through this and build our relationship better, and she's been trying to be very honest and open about things so we can build back our trust. She says she's never cheated on me, other than the incidents in our first few months together 20 years ago. But I'm still struggling with now knowing about all these things, and that she has had strange, seemingly unhealthy attachment to the high school ex, and also seems perpetually longing for different things in life and seeming to think the grass is always greener. I know everyone feels attracted to other people, but for it to be so serious that she writes in her journal about it worries me. It makes me feel like she hasn't appreciated me, and I don't really want to live life with a person who feels that way all the time. She says she knows all this and needs to do better and be better for me. Obviously I'm not perfect either. How can I continue to move forward with this stuff? I'm not leaving my wife, I still love her and she's my best friend, and we have 2 children. I have no intention of breaking up our family. Are there any parts that are especially concerning that I need to keep an eye on or talk to her more about? I'm trying to figure out what's worth bringing up versus when to just let things go and work toward the future with her. I divorced her halfway down the post. Good luck, buddy. Sounds like she feels she settled and now has buyer's remorse. I'm not sure that there is anything positive that you can do. You could offer a separation, to give her a shot at that other life she feels she's missing out on. You could choose to ignore the whole thing, accept that she had a lapse of integrity in her younger years, and focus on your children and yourself. You can't fix her, and trying to may only make the situation worse. You also can't work toward the future with her if she is preoccupied with an imaginary better life. You read her diary and you're obsessing about things that happened. Checks notes in high school? 2 decades ago? Seriously? I feel sorry for her. Get over it. Also, a lot of people write in private journals as a way to process their emotions. It's not an accurate representation of how they truly feel. And even if it was, you're still obsessing over things that happened 20 years ago. That's insane. The cheating and lying is bad. I'm sorry this happened. She was obviously a different person at 18 than she is now, but you're the only one here who honestly knows what she's like. What made you feel like digging through her diary? Is her behavior suspicious or did curiosity kill the cat here? What led to her admitting this stuff? Aside from that, the dreaming, fantasizing, infatuation stuff sounds like she's craving intimacy, romance or maybe adventure. Do you guys still date often? Do you make sure to still keep things romantic or do you think she just feels like a housewife, mom? Do you guys make a point to do new things as a couple? You both sound like hot messes and need therapy. Do what you want. If you want to save the marriage then do so, but don't hold a grudge. If you can't do that, then leave. 23M. Just broke up with my long-distance partner, 26F, of 3 years. Ever since the ending of last year, she suddenly changed. She changed how she dressed, started going out more often, and was hanging around new guys. I saw it was strange and voiced my concerns to her, but she told me I was insecure and didn't trust her. I didn't like that the guys she was hanging around were coming to her house and often she would drop our calls to talk to them. Well, I had no proof back then, but I was suspecting she was cheating with one of the guys. Today I got that proof. We had a recent fight where she went on a 2-day trip. She didn't contact me during the trip at all, and when I tried to call her and text her nothing went through. I ended up getting very angry, and she involved her sister. Her sister called me crazy, judgmental and controlling because I was upset over the lack of communication and what she chose to wear. They claimed no pictures nor videos were taken of the trip, and when I asked who went with them my ex told me sparsely who went. She claimed she didn't know all of the people, but I found out that she and several others planned the trip for weeks. Long story short, we had a big fight over this. After that fight, I had been subjected to her comparing me to several bad representations in her life. It felt like she was pulling everything she could to throw at me, verbally, and it was hurting me. I hit my last straw, and I opened up that this had to stop. She was enraged because I called her out on it, and I told her to share her screen with me to clear any doubts of her cheating. She was reluctant, and even attempted to act as if she didn't know how. I got her to show me. What I had found out was that she was having a several-month-long affair with 2 guys stemming from last year until now. She had sex with one of the guys on the trip, and was going on dates with the other. These dates were outings her older sister was telling me that she and Evander were going on. Turns out the older sister knew everything about the affair. I was being gaslit. As soon as I saw the proof, I was done. I blocked her immediately after sharing some not-so-nice words. Now I'm home laying in my bed not knowing what to do with my life. We had a lot of problems, but I guess she just thought I wasn't enough for her. I don't think I will ever be enough for anyone in my life now. I don't believe I can find happiness after this. I was there for her throughout a lot of hardships, and I thought she was my partner in life. I hate myself for wasting my time like this. I hate myself for still caring about her. The last thing she said to me was that she was going to kill herself and I don't know what to do. Wellness check her and that's it. She's clearly okay manipulating and lying, so why do you think she's telling any type of truth here? This is why I always caution my kids to avoid an LDR. I know this sucks for you, but she isn't your problem anymore, and you need to go and see. If you don't go and see and take her back, then any subsequent heartache and pain you suffer at her hands will be on you. You've finally seen what type of trash person she is, and no amount of past hardship in her life can excuse what she's done to you. She's not your problem anymore. Tell one of the guys she cheated on you with to check up on her. Cut her out. Don't call, text, or interact on social media with her or anyone she knows ever again. Forget she exists and move on with your life. I'm 99% the suicide thing is just a way to control you. But even if it's legit, who cares, she's not your problem anymore. You know what to do. Go get some healthy food and fresh air. A shower. Continue living. My 20M boyfriend, 18M, uninvited me to his birthday party the day before. I, 20M, have been dating my boyfriend, 19M, for 6 months, although we've been seeing each other for about 9 months. It's his birthday tomorrow, on the Friday. Initially, he had planned a party with all his uni friends that night, and some of his high school friends were also coming from the nearby city to celebrate. Him and I were then going into the city the next night to see a play that he wanted to see to further celebrate. I met up with him today to give him his present, as I wasn't going to be able to see him before his party, due to him catching up with some friends in the morning and uni classes, and wanted to give him his present. He told me that he didn't know how to tell me, but that he didn't want me to come to his party, as he just wants to hang out with his friends, and that we could still hang on the following day. For context, I had asked him a month-ish ago if he was going to do something on the night of his birthday with his friends, and I had initially told him that if he wanted to do something just with his friends, then that would be okay. However, I had later told him that I would really appreciate coming if he was going to do something bigger with the whole group, so I understand why he thought it was difficult telling me. I understand that it can be different hanging out with just friends, compared to hanging out with your friends and your partner, and get that he just wanted to hang out with friends. However, at the same time I'm upset that he didn't want to celebrate with me that night, and makes me think that he doesn't take the relationship too seriously. Obviously we're both still young and the relationship is unlikely to last forever, as people change as they grow older and our careers will take us in different directions, but it makes me feel that he doesn't appreciate it in the moment. I've been hanging out with his friends since we've started seeing each other and we've all gone out countless times, both with his friends and mine. While I understand that it's his birthday and that he should be able to celebrate it how he wants, part of me is annoyed because he had ages to tell me, but only told me the night before, when I was all excited about it, and part of me is embarrassed, 'cause I told his friends that I was coming when they would have known that he didn't want me there. There have been a few little things in the relationship that have been adding up. However, this is probably the most recent and biggest thing that has upset me. I'm wondering if someone could provide their perspective on this situation? Too long did not read. Boyfriend uninvited me to his birthday party the day before it. Yay, he just showed you where he is at. It is okay that he wants to just hang with his friends, but if I were you, I would figure out what you want to do with that information. If it was me, my efforts would be pulled way back and I would start treating him accordingly. You guys are both young, so it doesn't have to be taken too seriously. People give you information. Just pay attention and adjust your own behavior. If somebody told me he didn't want me to come along on a night out, I'd be out of there for good. The first thought that came to my head is that an old fling or crush just joined the party and he wants to hang out with them instead of you. He showed you his priorities and it's not your relationship. This is the end of this relationship, to be blunt. You should break up with him and move on. I don't understand why he doesn't want you there. I don't understand why it's different celebrating without your partner. Boyfriend, 21 male, and I, 20 female, broke up. He wants all his gifts. TW. Saw, DV. My ex-boyfriend and I were together for over a year. It was an abusive relationship where he did many hurtful things, including cheating, and being verbally, physically and sexually abusive. I stayed way longer than I should have and I understand that now. I am completely done with him. And I am not going to go back on this decision like I have many times before. So, throughout our relationship we have gotten each other things, spent money on each other and etc. him maybe more so than me. Now with us ending he wants all of the stuff he has given me. Electronics, clothes and stuff like that. I will 100% give him the ring he proposed to me with, but everything else. I'm not sure about. I'm not asking him for anything back even though I gave him $500 plus to fix his car, helped him pay for things when he didn't have money and etc. Just yesterday he threatened multiple times to kill me and break things of mine, car, bust my house windows etc. Because of this, I texted his mom explaining what was being said. I don't want to give him anything back besides the ring. And the reason isn't because I couldn't get it again, but honestly I would just feel so cheated in the entire relationship. He cheated multiple times for many months and I stayed. He lied multiple times and I forgave, and now when I can't take it anymore I will still be losing? I'm happy to lose him. To get rid of him. But if he gets his way, getting every item he has ever gotten me, then I just feel like he's walking away from this getting what he wants. My reasoning is probably childish, and my age is probably showing with my way of thinking, but it's honestly how I feel. IDK. What I should do? I am just tired of being forgiving and agreeable to whatever he says. He doesn't deserve it. And he honestly needs to realize that everything won't go his way, especially when he cheated on me. I don't think he should expect me to bend over backwards to make this breakup in his favor. He also threatens to call the police and say that I stole it from him. Can this hold up? Can I get in trouble for that? I tell him that I will gladly speak to the police as well about his sexual and physical abuse. I want a restraining order put against him, but part of me think that will only make him crazier. Too long did not read. My ex-boyfriend wants to take away every gift he was given me since we are breaking up. I don't want to give it back. I had a friend who was actually murdered by her ex. He killed her and her fiancé, then the coward killed himself. Don't be a fool, call the police. Is the cost worth the hassle? My ex stripped loads from my house. I just bought new because it was worth it for them to be no longer around with their abuse and violence. That is the only question you should ask yourself. Money is money, items can be replaced. Being away from crazy truly is priceless once they are gone for good. Of course he wants his gifts back. It's a perfect excuse to make you come see him in person so he can continue to abuse you. Stay away from him. Block his number. Call the police. Protect yourself first. Give his mother the ring, get her to sign a confirmation that she received it. Bring someone with you to record it as well. Cover all bases. Go to the police first anyway, ask them what to do. Do nothing on your own and do not see him at all, you do not need to. Invest in cameras, body ones, as well as he is likely to confront you personally. Protect your home and your car and your friends, tell them what he is doing so they are protected as well. He is a dangerous person now to you, your family, your friends, your work and just everything. Keep anything he sends, record everything he says. Even if not allowed, you will have proof that he has done and said things to you. But try not to talk to him in person, ever.